What's up, Conversational English students? I'm sure you heard that our last day of class is May 8th, and that's very sad because that means that we're not going to have class in person, so I won't get to say goodbye. I'll make another video next week, though, so don't worry. But I was thinking this week I'd talk about college, since I know a bunch of you, or not a bunch, some of you had questions about what college is like, or like some of you, like Lonnie's going to be going to college real soon, right? That's coming up. So like, I don't know so I thought I'd talk a little bit about when I went to college, what my experience is like, so you can maybe have some things to expect, because it's a lot different than high school for sure. So the thing is, when I went to college, I didn't live at home, right? I went to college, it was an hour away from where I lived. So and I went to school in Oregon, so I went to the same state. So this would be like if you went to school in Puerto Rico. I don't really know what college in Puerto Rico is like, but I'm sure it's similar, right? They just probably speak in Spanish and eat rice and beans. So I went to George Fox, which is a small Christian college. George Fox. Small Christian college in Oregon, okay? It was about undergraduate. It was about 2,500, I think, through about 3,000 maybe. Undergraduate, which is not very many, pretty small, okay? So the first thing I'll say about college, okay, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it's a lot harder. Classes are a lot harder, okay? It's a lot more difficult. Like, I feel like maybe you think Mr. Lopez is really hard for math and stuff, but I'll tell you, in college it's a lot harder because you have less class, but you have the same difficult exam. So, for example, like I had a Bible class that was only 2 days a week. It was on Tuesdays and Thursdays for like an hour and a half. You have class, and that's it. Ya basta. No more, right? So when you have class though only twice a week, then what do? Do you study? Because no one tells you to study. Like, it's up to you if you want to study. It's all on your own time, okay? So that's one of the biggest things. Is it's still very difficult. It's harder than college. It's harder than high school. The exams are harder than high school, but you have less time in class, because right now you guys have class every day, at least when we had not quarantine, you have class every day for high school, but in college you don't have class every day. For science classes though, I did have class 3, like I'd have organic chemistry, for example. You have class 3 days a week, and then we had a 3-hour lab once a week. So that's 6 hours in class. So that's quite a bit of time in class. But other classes, like Bible classes, will be less, or philosophy will be less, or depends for sure. Another thing different, the other thing I'll talk about living in college is usually first year you'll live in a dorm, which is like a big building. And usually, I guess I don't know what it's like in Puerto Rico, but if you go to the United States for school, it's like you'll live in a dorm probably, because almost all freshmen live in dorms, and it's like you don't have a bathroom. It's just a room with a bed and a bed. So you and your roommate, and I did random assignment, and me and my roommate are still best friends. So I had the same roommate for 4 years. But it was random. Like, he's from Hawaii. I just met him randomly. That's something different, though, because you don't have your own bathroom, and you have to share with a roommate. So, like, if you're an only child and you're used to having your own bathroom, and maybe you just are really messy and you get hair all over the place, and, it's the thing is now you have to share a bathroom with, like, 20 other guys, potentially, or 30 other guys, depending on maybe a big school, like 50 other guys, It can be lots of people sharing one bathroom, and that's kind of gross. So you have to get used to sharing a bathroom, sharing your room, and it's a lot different than living with, like, just you and your parents, or even you and your parents and 5 brothers would be more of a feel. But it's like you're living on a floor with a lot of people. It's a dorm. So that's a lot different, okay? Another thing that's different about college is you have lots of free time. Like free time, in the sense, when I say free time, it's like time where you could be studying, but like no one tells you what to do. In college, it's like you can do what you want. Like, you have class and you should go to class, but you don't have to. Like, no one is writing you, hey, you have to go to class, you have to go to class. It's like, if you don't go to class, you can still pass the test, but that's a bad idea. So I would say always go to class. You're paying money for your classes. Oftentimes, though, if your parents pay for school, if your parents are paying for school, then you want to skip class because it's not your own money. But if you have to pay for your own college, then people don't skip class. But you shouldn't skip class regardless. I know at my school, per hour of class, I think it was like $40 per hour of class. So if you skip a class, it's like throwing away $40, like $40 en la basura, $40 in the trash. Okay, so going to class is very important. So I would actually say if you skip class, that's a dumb move. That's not smart at all. It could be stupid. That's a strong word. Emily says it's a strong word. But it would be stupid to skip class if you're paying money for your classes, for your major. Okay? Now, if you don't know what classes you want to take, then take a break and figure it out. But don't take classes that you don't want to take, because you're paying for them. And then if you don't want to go, then that's a problem. Okay? So that's the thing, though. When you have free time like that, you could go to class, you could not. And then once you get out of class, so you have homework for some classes. Other classes, you don't have any homework. It's just study on your own and do your own. So if you want to study, yes, good. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But then when the exam comes, are you going to be ready? It's up to you to balance all your time. For example, freshman year, I had chemistry class on Monday. Monday I had chemistry in the morning, and then I had yoga at 10 o'clock, and then I had calculus at noon, and then I had ethics in the afternoon. So I had 4 classes on Mondays, I believe. Oh, and I had sociology. So I had 5 classes. But even then, with those 5 classes, right, how long are they? I'm trying to think. How long are they? I think each class, my calc class was an hour and 20 minutes. But all the other classes are 50 minutes. So if you do 50 times 4 plus, okay, so it's 50, so an hour. So, okay, so it's 5.5 hours, we'll say, more or less. But how long are you at school at Patania every day? You're at school more than that, right? What time does school start? It starts at 7. No. What time does school start? It starts at 8. 8 to 3. 8 to 3? That's 7 hours? That's 7 hours of school. You're here at school, right? But in college, so then I have, 5.5 hours of class on Monday, but on Tuesday, I would have no class. I would just have 1 lab for 2 hours. And then I have the whole day free. Total dia libre. Whole day free to do whatever I want, right? And freshman year, I didn't do what I should have done with my free time. I'll talk about that in a sec. But you have the whole day free. It's up to you. You can go work out. You can go play Frisbee. You can go shopping. You can go cook. You have this kitchen in the dorm. You can go hang out with your friends. You can go hiking. Whatever you want to do. But that doesn't mean just because there's no class doesn't mean you don't have other things you can be doing for class. Because you're at college usually to get a degree for a reason. You're there for a reason. Emily, you saying something? You have some input? I thought she was saying something. She's just laughing at me. Okay. I guess I'm real funny. So a big thing in college too is you'll figure out how to study. Because I know lots of everyone, you guys had a test for Mr. Ortiz in science. You'd be oh, I'm gonna study during lunchtime or the night before, right? But in college, especially if you take science, Emily was nursing and I was biochem, if you have those kind of majors, most majors, you can't just study the night before because you've had 3 weeks of content and lots of reading and reading and potentially assignments and stuff. And then the night before you're oh, I'm going to study all of that. You're not going to know what's going on. And even if you did pass the exam, the point of taking the class is to learn for the long term, not just for the exam. You want to learn things that you can use later in life. It's all about learning. In college, it's more about learning for the long term versus in high school, it's just you're just trying to get through, I guess. But in college, it should be more learning for the long term. Okay? So you'll figure out how to study. And there's a time limit on exams. I remember Jorge was telling me how he took all day to take Mr. Lopez's exam. And oh, I'm getting the emergency alert. Stay in your home. All right. Chillax. But Jorge took all day to do Mr. Lopez's exam. Or what, it took all week, I think, and he was taking all his lunchtime. In college, you have your time for the exam and you take it, and ya basta, you're done. You have to go, okay? So that means you have to know how to do the math problems, for example, good enough so you can do them and be done when it's time. And I was always not very good at that. I always needed all my time for the exams. It took all the time, okay? So, yeah, I feel the first year can be pretty overwhelming because there's lots of change, lots of new friends. You meet tons of people at the beginning of college. Lots of new people, lots of new professors, and so then you figure out who am I going to study with? Am I going to study by myself? Who am I going to hang out with? Or am I going to hang out with these, kind of Frisbee people, or maybe the more musical people, or just people on my floor where I live, or people from my classes, my major people from my major group. you know? Like if you're nursing, hang out with your nursing clique, or if you're, you know, psychology, hang out with your psychology clique, or your little squad, or you just hang out, because I hung out with on freshman year, I hung out mostly with the guys on my floor, the same floor as you in your dorm, El Dormitorio, okay? So you kind of figure out, like it's like you figure out studying, and you figure out your friends, and you figure out kind of what you want to do with your future, because I feel like freshman year is kind of all up in the air, okay? Something Emily says about college is you have more liberty to do things, which is absolutely true. It's like, unless you're living at home with your parents, and college is a little bit different. But if you're living at school, right, your parents aren't there. So you can do what you want. And hopefully that means you make good decisions. You know, Jesus is watching always. So you should make good decisions. Okay? But yeah, more liberty. You can do lots of different things. And so anytime, it's like, it's up to you to make a schedule for what you want to do at any certain time. Okay? Something for my experience of freshman year, my dorm had a ping pong table. Ping pong. You guys know about ping pong. Yeah, I beat Darrell. I beat Jorge. I'm the champ. Yeah, you know why I'm the champ, though? Because the freshman year of college, I played way too much. I was a lot better. Back then, I could have beat Juan Carlos every single time. But now I can't beat him every single time. He beats me usually. But anyway, that's because there was in our dorm, and we had a lobby in the dorm. Like when you'd be walking out the door to class, there was the ping pong table. And so if I had like 10 minutes before class, it'd be like, oh, hey, Josh, you want to play some ping pong? Oh, yeah, sure, bro. So we play ping pong. And then, after class, let's run it back. Play one more time. Run it back. Run it back means play it again. You say, I don't know if you've heard that before. Run it back. Let's run it back. Play again. Okay? So let me play again, and then I would just spend tons of time at the ping pong table. And there was I have lots of good memories from freshman year, but I should have spent more time studying, because it's a good balance. College is a balance of having good times and making good memories, but also studying, because you're there for a reason. So my freshman year, I actually didn't study enough, and I had played too much ping pong mostly. And then sophomore year, though, I studied too much. I didn't have enough fun, and my mental health, I was more depressed, more sad. I was getting worse grades. Well, actually, grades were they were a little better maybe, but I was way less happy, right? So in junior and senior year, I got a better balance of studying and playing and having fun, okay? So I played too much ping pong. So that's the thing, though, is you have to figure it out. So I figured out ping pong's really fun, but I can't play too much, okay? So something big, too, is in college, you can get involved in lots of different things. So there's intramural sports, which are like the sports for fun. So like I did intramural floor hockey, basketball, I did kickball, I did soccer, I did ultimate frisbee. There was 3-on-3 basketball, 5-on-5 basketball. I did volleyball. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Did I list all the sports, Emily? What did I forget? She can't think of any either. Yeah, frisbee, volleyball, floor hockey. Yeah. Pretty much any sport you can think of. We didn't have wiffle ball or baseball. That was a bummer. Or hey, I know that's be so like Emily's school had wiffle ball. That would have been fun. But yeah. We had American football. Okay. So you can play all those sports for fun, and it's like you get in the league and you have your team with your buddies, and you can play, and it's competitive. You keep score. There's refs. It's really fun. That was like one of my highlights of college, was intramural sports. And I was a resident assistant, which means a resident assistant is like in charge of apartments or of dormitories. Like when you need help, like when you're sad or you need help, like you lock yourself out of your room or you need some advice, you talk to your resident assistant. And he's a student that's a couple years older than you usually. 1 or 2 years older than you, and then he can give you advice. So I did that. I was a resident assistant. That's a really good option, okay? Our peer advisor, that was like you help out the freshmen when they come in, okay? Peer advisor, that was a good option for me. I was in the Hawaii club. You guys know where Hawaii is? Probably not. It's really far away. But my roommate was Hawaiian, so I was in the Hawaii club with him, so that was fun. I danced in the hula, did the hula dance, okay? And then Bible study. We would have... Emma's laughing at my hula dance. She doesn't even know I was a really good hula dancer. I'll tell you guys right now, okay? Anyway, we had Bible study. We had Bible study every week, freshman year especially. We had it freshman year and junior year. And we had it actually every year. Senior year, we didn't have it, unfortunately. But Bible study is a really good option because you're with your friends. And I was at a Christian school, so there's lots of my other friends are Christian because Jesus is the most important thing. Remember. Now, some things Emily was involved in. She was a student chaplain. She was in choir. She worked in the library. You can get jobs while you're in college. And she was a ball girl for the football team, which means you help the football team set up for before games, and you get them the balls and stuff. Okay. All right. So sorry, I'm almost out of time for the video. It's not kind of 15 minutes, but let me know if you have any questions about college. I'd love to talk to you. Let me know. Okay. Sorry for talking so much, but I thought this was important. So let me know, and I'll see you guys again next week. Let me know if you have questions.